I'm Adam Carlson here with Undead Walking, and I am talking with IronE Singleton, also known as T-Dog on The Walking Dead. Thanks for taking some time to talk with us today. Really means a lot for us to take that time out of your busy schedule.
Thank you for having me, sir. I appreciate it, and I so look forward to this.
Now, I got to talk with you last year at Walker Stalker Con Chicago, and I had a really fantastic time meeting you. We got to talk about your music career, your book, your one-man show, your time on The Walking Dead, covered just about everything, and it was a fantastic time. And every time I came to talk to you, you had a line of people waiting to talk to you. What is it about you, yourself, and the character you played that you think draws people to you?
Wow, interesting question. I'm going to have to defer a bit and give that credit to God, because it's about me listening and obeying. I would say that much. But there has always been a higher power. You know, some people may not refer to this entity as God, but the higher power, a higher source, that from which we all come, and we're all connected. So I feel like everybody I meet is my brother or my sister, because we are connected. And I just try to give that love and to be kind and to be respectful to everyone I meet, and I get it in return. And I think that kind of supports this notion of karma. You know, what you put in the world, you get back, and I'm just blown away.
Your positive energy is so infectious, and it's so great when you talk, when anyone talks with you, you get the impression of just the positive vibes and everything that just comes from you. And I've got a little fact for you that you may not know. On November 4th, it'll be 5 years since your character was killed off on The Walking Dead.
Wow, that's awesome. You reminded me.
But
once a year, around this time, I'll have a few people to remind me, and then I'll get a lot of tweets on November 4th, and they'll say, "This is T-Dog Day," and I'm like, "Wow!" So that's how I remember, because of avid fans. They let me know. So
the fans are absolutely intense with that kind of stuff, and they don't forget. They absolutely will not forget. But even after 5 years away from the show, T-Dog is a character that has never really been forgotten. I mean, there have been tons of fantastic characters that have came and gone on AMC's The Walking Dead. And it's weird how T-Dog is one that never really kind of faded into the background. Why do you think that is?
The execs, you know, if we're going to speak in worldly terms, I'm going to give all the praise to the executives. I think that higher source moved through them, and they worked their goodness and showed me a lot of love in giving me a heroic death. The writers, the execs, they all knew that T-Dog's time was about to come to an end on the show. They also told me that I would really appreciate and love the way T-Dog dies. And I was like, huh? I'm dying? And you're saying I'm going to love it? But when I saw the script, I was like, I get it. It was a heroic death. And if you're going to die for something, then why not die heroically? And I thought that was the best death. It doesn't get any better than that for TV or for movies, dying as a hero.
No, going out to protect someone else is such an admirable way to go. And when you think about what all the actions what your character made in that final episode, and what it meant for the show going forward, and all the dominoes that it set in motion, it's really fantastic to think about just what that one sacrifice meant.
Well, I appreciate hearing that. And sometimes when people say, look, if you didn't save Carol, then Carol would not have gone on and saved everybody at Terminus. Therefore,
right.
The show would be non-existent probably. But I'm so in awe, and I'm just so proud of what Carol has been able to do. Melissa McBride, and she's a fantastic actor. But I know that she's touched many lives, and just what she's been able to overcome. You know, domestic abuse, and her journey has been one that has inspired the world, particularly women that go through that domestic abuse, and maybe some men in instances, but I know she's touched a lot of people. I'm glad to have been a part of that in some small way or another.
Absolutely. We've talked about your time on the Blind Side in a previous interview. We've talked about your football career, and we've talked about a lot of other parts of who you are and what you're trying to do. But now you're trying to assemble a tour for your Blindsided by the Walking Dead show. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, like you said in Chicago, you said that there were lots of people at my table waiting to see me, and a lot of times when people come out, they ask me about my one-man show. I have not been able to perform in about maybe a year or two. I can't remember the last time we did the show. It was Orlando, Atlanta, or New York, or New Jersey. And they asked about it, and they said they want to see the show. And I really want them to see the show. I really want the world to see the show. In the wake of all the tragedies that we've had, and my heart goes out to everybody. My prayers go up for everybody that's been affected in the California fires and the hurricanes, Irma, Harvey, Maria, and the earthquake in Mexico, and all of the other countless tragedies that are happening but are not getting that much media attention.
Right.
I constantly pray. I walk in prayer. And this show would help to restore compassion we have for one another. It would help to restore the kindness and respect that we all need to survive as humans, because we want love. Ultimately, that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Us respecting each other. And I think this show does that. And so I'm taking it to the people that have on so many occasions requested the show. Taking it to them to start this Kickstarter campaign, because I feel like we all ask ourselves sometimes, especially in the wake of big tragedy or multiple tragedies, like, what can I do? I have to do more. I should do more. I want to do more. And I found myself saying that. And I have to do more than just give to those causes, giving money to those causes or going out and speaking. I feel like Blindsided by the Walking Dead would do more good than anything else I've ever done combined, if we're able to get it out there the right way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we did the show. I performed it the first time back in 2008, but it was called IronE Resurrected. So after my two biggest projects, The Blind Side and The Walking Dead, we changed the name to Blindsided by the Walking Dead. And we did it there, but we just didn't have the right funding behind it, because we were funding it ourselves, and we just didn't do it the right way. This time, we have a team in place, our marketing people, to actually get it done and promote it the right way, so that we can have a really great, huge, momentous reception, because, once a large group sees it, then they'll talk about how great it is, and they'll tell others, and other people want to see it. So we think that this is the time, more so than any, given what we're going through today.
The Kickstarter campaign itself is a fantastic one. There's some great awards available for contributors, including dinners with you, tickets, photos, personalized thank yous, and other things as well. Aside from the great rewards, what are these contributions going towards helping fund?
Aside from the great rewards, what are the contributions going towards?
Right. I mean, you're working to get venues, have promotion, yes, and basically cover the expenses for the tour itself.
Yes,
and having the fans be able to be a part of that is probably one of the best feelings in the world, because The Walking Dead has such a passionate fan base. Mm-hmm. And they've always been willing to help out causes, help out with the arts, just come together for so many great causes in the past. And I'd love for Blindsided by the Walking Dead to be another one of those. Mm-hmm. A success story just made from the fans of The Walking Dead for the fans of The Walking Dead, spreading positivity. It'd be such a great thing.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Our goal is to eventually be able to, there's an art school. It's the IronE School of the Arts. That's been a vision of mine for the longest. And we started putting things together early on, but we could not submit things the way we wanted to, because my career just didn't allow that at the time. But that is the ultimate goal, along with establishing that with an old folks home. So we want the young people to come together to help the old people and that would also help to restore this humanity and this compassion that we have for each other, that we should have for each other. But you mentioned a few items, and the list goes on and on.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so the contribution would be comparable to what they are actually giving. Like, we have books. They will probably, they could get my book, BlindSided For, The Walking Dead, T-shirts, unique items. Say, for instance, I think that one is a picture, a piece of art that Frank Darabont gave me. I'm thinking that there's on the table. I'm thinking that is on the table right now, but my management team has been responsible for putting all of those items there. But that's the game plan. If this show becomes a success, then the world will know it, and the world will benefit tremendously outside of just getting inspiration and empowerment from the show itself, but monetarily speaking, because that's my mission in life. That's why I'm here. That's my whole walk.
Now, you have shared some clips from your one-man show, and there's a lot going on. There's comedy, there's drama, there's music, dance, impressions, poetry, a little bit of everything for any fan that can really enjoy. And you touch upon your history in such a way that it's a powerful story that I think just about anybody can pull something away from, which is what you really hope for a show, from a show like this. And I really hope that the Kickstarter can get the funding it needs to lift this project up off the ground.
Thank you, Brother Adam. I appreciate that. Because it's a human story. Like, even though it's my story I'm telling, but so many people can relate to it. I'm asked a lot, like, okay, so who are you catering to? And the only thing I can say is the world and everybody.
Human beings.
Well, yeah, human beings, because here's the thing. We were reaching out to, we feel like we have everybody in place now to promote it the way it should be promoted. Now, my manager was speaking to a marketing person, and she was like, well, who is the show catering to? My manager was like, everybody, if they're 13 and older, because there's some graphic language in there, but I could have watched that show at 6 or 7 because of my experiences. So depending on your experiences, you could probably watch at a young age. But my manager said anybody 13 and older, and the lady contacted her back. She said, well, no, that's what a lot of writers think that. A lot of writers think that what they write is for everybody, but it's not. And my manager had to I've done several projects to where I didn't think it was for everybody, and it didn't cater to everybody. But this show here caters to everybody because it's a universal message of truth and love, and people will be able to relate to my experiences because it's about struggle, it's about pain, it's about hardship, it's about overcoming trials and tribulations in life to be better. To be better, So I think that I would benefit from it, Adam.
Yeah, with so much negativity going on, it's great to see positive influences going on, and it could mean a lot to a lot of people to hear these stories and understand that there is positivity and other things out there. Let's finish up with 2 questions about Fear the Walking Dead Season 8, The Walking Dead Season 8 coming up. And I wanted to ask you if you have a prediction about what you think might happen.
I was actually trying to tap into it last night and the night before. I got a screener, and I'm anxiously trying to get into it right now. Hopefully, I'll know what's going to happen in about 2 hours when I finish up these interviews today.
There you go.
It was season 7. The finale was so explosive with so much going on,
Absolutely.
People crossing each other, and it was like, wow. I'm thinking that it's going to open up the same way because, Negan has kind of gone back. He's regrouping, and Rick is regrouping with the new group that's been brought into the fold. I'm thinking that it's going to be a major showdown during episode 1. I think that's what's going to happen, and hopefully Rick will send Negan, on his way.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because that's my guy. Rick is my guy. But I'm hoping for lots of excitement, and I think we're going to get that.
All right, last question for you. How do you think T-Dog would have reacted if he was in that lineup when Negan was doing his eeny, meeny, miny, mo? What do you think would have been going through T-Dog's head?
Probably more so like Abraham. You know, I'll take it if this guy is really sincere, because the interesting thing about Negan, he seems to be a man of his word.
Right.
It's like if he says something, then that's what he means. Because thinking about what he told Sasha, he was like, look, I'm going to have to take two of you guys. I'm going to have to take two or three or four or something. And she was trying to negotiate down. She said, well, what about one? And, of course, we now know that she meant herself.
Right.
She'll sacrifice herself. That way he wouldn't kill anybody from the group. So he seems to be a loyal type of guy. But I think that Tito would have responded more like Abraham. And he would have said, look, can we negotiate this? If you take me out, leave all my friends, or he would have just taken the blow for everybody if he could. But if not, then he would have probably tried something really, really drastic, and he probably would have made a move, somewhat kind of like Daryl did. Now, Daryl's feeling all guilty because Glenn died, and
right.
It's a big mess. So something like that.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me here at Undead Walking about BlindSided by the Walking Dead. Your conventions coming up, because you are regular conventions, and I highly recommend that if you go to any of the conventions where IronE Singleton's at, check him out, come up, say hello, even if you don't not spending a lot of money, come up, say hi. You know, he's a fantastic guy, and I highly recommend you at least stop by and give your well-beings to him.
Wow. Thank you, Brother Adam. I appreciate that. And yes, indeed, to just piggyback on what Adam said, I just love to connect with people and to give love and to receive it in return. It's about fellowshipping with me. I think it was right before Philly, and my wife was sending me off out the door, and she was like, you already know what you have to do. It was in the wake of all these tragedies, too. She said, go give them as much love as you can, because the world needs it. And that's what I'm about. So come out and say hi, give me a hug, give me a handshake or whatever. I appreciate it, because it helps me, too, at times. It helps to get me through, because sometimes I just don't have my good days, and that love means a lot to me. So thank you, Brother Adam, and I wish you all the best. I love you and all of your listeners, too. So y'all take care, love each other. It's free.
Thanks again, and thanks for spending time talking to us on Undead Walking.